In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? When creating my media product, I wanted to try something that postmodernists describe as simulation. This is where the product is almost identical to something that already exists in the real media. To ensure that my production was as close to real media as possible, I made sure that I did extensive research into the conventions of existing media products. This included studying all of the patterns and correlations between similar TV channels and to what I created. When doing this, I was not only able to find the similarities between the channels, but what makes channels and websites and videos all different and unique. This helped me to see exactly what things I'll be able to change in my production to make my work unique. In my final draft, you see that I did take into consideration a lot of conventions of real media. Some conventions were deliberate and others were just naturally influenced onto me. The unintentional conventions of real media that I used were mostly down to the meetings with the professionals that I had, as they were able to give me lots of advice that were seen as industry standard. This advice was stuff that I may not have already known, but I was able to take on board and use, which are actually conventions of the media. But my website does challenge a few conventions as well. I've used quite a unique design for my website. I coded my website from scratch, and so that means that I did not use any templates or anything. I chose the whole structure of the website myself. This means that this design and structure is not really seen much before. Although I did base it on something I had seen, it was not identical and is really is unique compared to anything else. So this does challenge the convention of how a website's naturally structured. However, I felt that this new design that I created was something that offered a more accessible way of accessing information. I also challenged or mainly developed the convention of navigation bars. Many websites just use standard sort of box navigation bars with buttons, whereas I decided I wanted something a bit more unique and special for mine, and I liked the idea of using a speedometer to navigate through, and it's an animated navigation bar that I created. This helped to show what my website is really about and show that it is about cars, and it also sort of adds a bit more interactivity to my website, making the audience feel a lot more comfortable using it. In my ident video, you'll see that I really did stick to quite a few conventions of ident videos that contained cars. I used the black and white effect quite a lot throughout that. I did this deliberately because I wanted to make sure that it did stand out, and that's a known technique used in ident videos to make them stand out. I also used some sound effects that are quite, in some ways they have been developed conventions because I created the sound, but in other ways the sound you hear is quite generic and it has been seen before. But I decided to do this because I wanted to make sure that my ident video really did have big impact, and so I made sure that I used all of the industry standard techniques to make sure that it did stand out.